Hello, and welcome to another episode of Duos in Destiny, where two pirates are just out here trying to settle their debts in a legendary game of Dungeons and Dragons. Only one may win, and it's going to be me, the Dungeon Master. We play a Spelljammer campaign homebrewed by yours truly and played in by this one truly. But before I toss it over to you, because you thought I wasn't going to do it, but I still am, I'm going to give a big special shout out to Jason Wardell of In the Vast Forest on Spotify and Bandcamp. You can hear that sweet, sweet tone of its synthesizer in the background, giving some super sweet space jamming vibes. Be sure to check him out on Bandcamp and Spotify at In the Vast Forest. And while you're surfing the web, checking people out, check out Instagram and go looking for Roll for Sketching. All of our character art she has done her very self. She has cool time-lapse videos of doing them. She also takes commissions. So reach out to her for your custom character art. And check out and give some love for all the character art she has done for us. In a long-winded roundabout way, we finally come over to you. Who are you, dude?
Oh, I'm that guy.
I'm
that pirate who's not Ric Flair.
You've got 3 minutes with me, Pirate Captain.
Pirate Captain Ric Flair.
I think it's Randy Savage.
Oh, Randy Savage.
It's
Dang
Macho
it,
Man
right.
Randy Savage.
Yeah, it's much.
You got 3 minutes. Clip it.
Yeah, we better clip that. Hey, guys. My name is Brandon, and I'm your player this evening over here on Commander's Log. And thank you for tuning in to episode number 45. We are very pleased to have you, very honored to have you, and we can't believe you've made it through 45 episodes. 45 is quite a bit. So if you're here and you haven't yet, why haven't you? You know? And why haven't you hit the like button, or the subscribe button, or just shoot us a comment? Anything. Anything to help us catch a little algorithm love, and we'll gladly take it. And we just love to see the love, because we love to communicate and talk with people that are enjoying what we're doing. So feel free. We will be releasing our giveaway, as it is almost the end of April, as our giveaway for Turtle Tabs by Boba Books. New information will come out at the end of this week, as we will be doing our giveaway. We decided to do the giveaway starting on May 1st again. So May 1st will be the start of the giveaway, and we will have all of the rules and all the fun stuff coming out very shortly. So make sure you keep a look on the channels. So if you haven't yet, go follow us on Instagram. Go follow us on TikTok. Go follow us on Facebook. Go follow us on YouTube. Wait, you're here. Or go follow us on Spotify. Maybe that's where you are. But in one of those locations, you will find many of the informations very shortly. And I think without further ado, it's time for last time on Commander's Log.
Commander's Log.
We finished the grueling and taxing fight of the Braxats within their crucible, where many lives were lost, good and bad and everything in between. Karson's was close. Pizor not so bad, but it was a series of unfortunate events, Jim Carrey style. It was pretty rough, but we were able to find a solution, come out alive, and hopefully freed the Thri-Kreen from their oppressors that were rapidly approaching and causing some issues. But we returned back to the ship, and if I remember correctly, we had some communications, and we were getting ready and geared up to head back to home of Vistrotar. And that is where I hand it back to you.
If I do remember correctly, we just got done with a long rest. So we were heading into the 29th of Charstill. You also leveled up. Big ups.
I did. Level 10.
Pizor also leveled up, as well as the automatons. All got subtle upgrades. In the time, since you're back on the ship right now, it's kind of a good time to touch on it. But with the extra time that Zage has been afforded since, hit me with the name and you'll get inspiration.
Arifa.
Thank you. For some reason, I kept thinking Aguilar, and I was like, that ain't even close. Arifa. Thank you. You get inspiration. With Arifa being on the ship and being able to take care of a lot of the repairs as well as upgrades, Zage has taken a lot of time to focus on the automatons themselves, and done a lot of like extra pet projects, and just also kind of taken some time to relax. He also has been keeping close contact with folks back on Vistrotar, daily messages through sending stones. And he is also keeping tabs on the movement of the Ascanari and the planets themselves through the orrery. I don't know if we had any of these conversations.
We did have one.
Which was?
2 ships. World blinked out. And the other 14 ships were heading to that location.
Yes, okay. Thank you. So the 14 ships are grouping. They've kind of divided themselves into 3 separate groups. And this would be relayed to you from Zage, but I'll just kind of give you the highlights. 2 had been winked out within the Terran fields. And the 14 ships, or now 14 ships, had broken into 3 separate groups and began to slowly comb the Terran fields, going in a clockwise motion. Most importantly, they were nearing Vistrotar's orbit. Of course, Vistrotar's orbit is inside the orbit of the Terran fields, so Terran field surrounds it, kind of like the asteroid belt in Earth. So it is an interior planet as opposed to the asteroid belt. There's a distance between the two, but that distance was well within a couple of days between Vistrotar and the Terran fields. So you would know, with the technology that you've stolen them from the Ori, they know that planet exists. Very potential possibility of them going there. But with that activity, whatever's happening in the Terran fields, that's drawn those Ascanari ships further into the fields and away from Vistrotar currently.
Okay.
So they're actually getting a little space. And overnight, this morning, a new development has come in through the Ori. There is a fleet of 8 ships that have left that bright moon-like sphere that orbits outside of the 10th planet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've gotten a name for the 10th planet.
I'll tell you. I have a running total. It is planet number 10 blank planet. Okay. All I know at this time is I know Rakastile?
Oh, Rakastil,
Vistrotar, and Akara.
Okay,
That's the only 3
cool,
I know.
cool. I just wanted to make sure before I spit out the name, because unlike Arifa, I actually remembered the name of the planet. So, but that is all information that you gather from Zage. And in other news, let's see, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, there's no other news from Vistrotar itself. Nothing changing drastically there. Sorry, I'm pausing to think because there actually has been recent ramifications.
Dramatic pauses.
Yes,
So.
big dramatic pause. If there is ramifications, I'll think about them in a later, because that all context is going to be coming up eventually. Dramatic pauses ended as I got nowhere with it. But the morning is yours here on the Starhammer. Of course, there's breakfast prepared by Brish. Getting into more of a kind of like a staple breakfast, not pulling out any of the fancy stops. Last night definitely was a celebration, but today is more modest of a meal. Still incredible, well cooked, and you can spend the morning however you would like.
I'll find Zage in the morning.
Zage would be... He'd be studying the Orrery, and this would be when you would learn that those 2 ships have arrived. I'm assuming so. We'll shut my mouth and roleplay. You find him in the helm's room. Come in.
Good morning, Zage.
Karson, it's a pleasure to see you. You're looking rested. Much better.
I feel rested. I'm quite sore, actually.
Hack gives great deep tissue massages.
Does he?
It does. I actually
Did you
programmed a
just
little.
upgrade
Yes, it's part of his punching feature, but it's more like I just made his fingers extend, so it's basically just like a gets deep.
It sounds nice. Yeah, that was something. That was. Well, I was scared for a while during that altercation.
I'm sorry we couldn't have been of more help. Truly, I felt
That's the
useless
situation we were in. I understand you would have been there if we could have. It would have been nice to have the Star Hammer and its power, but
I couldn't imagine.
They wouldn't have known what to do. But we did it. We freed another civilization. Yay us.
A trend, I suppose.
Yeah. What an odd trend, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if this pattern repeats itself. There's a lot more planets.
There are.
Do you care if I ask? What are we doing? I mean, I get the gist. We're freeing these planets from the oppressors, but we're gaining allies. Are we going to war? What's the ultimate goal?
It's a loaded question, Zage.
I thought it would be, which is why I asked it.
The answer's not necessarily one way or the other. I mean, I think you did hit it on the head.
War?
We are helping people that need it. We are gathering allies where we need it. And I think ultimately, we are heading to a place of war. A place where all this is going to come to a head of some kind, don't you think?
I think so, honestly.
There's no
I
way-
don't know if it sounds dramatic, but
There's no way it doesn't.
it's almost starting to sound like this is good versus evil right now.
No, I think that's a very good way to put it.
And right now, evil's winning. Evil rules this sphere.
Yes, I would agree with you, but I don't think that saying it's winning is the right way to say it. I think maybe it was winning until we had started to fly around. And since then, we've started to make small incremental steps that have changed the outcome of the battle. And we've made those choices. We've lost friends, worked hard, and are trying to make a difference for the good.
Wow, I didn't anticipate to get emotional all of a sudden, but it'd been a long time since I'd even thought about all that we have lost. Kind of made me think about Carlisle.
I wonder what he would think about our decisions. I wonder what he would, if he would think we were doing a good job. Well, I wonder what he would think.
Do you remember that absolutely foolish maneuver the two of you pulled back on Grey Grim Island when we first got together?
When we fought on the planet side.
When Covenant showed up that time?
I don't remember what we did that was... Refresh me.
You stepped in and the both of you, put your lives on the line. You made that decision there and then, to step into harm's way, for people you did not hardly know, to put down people that were bringing harm to them, that were putting them in danger. And you two came out on top. And then you did it again. And now again. He'd be incredibly proud.
Thanks.
I think he would be a very overwhelmed but proud general of this resistance we've started.
Yeah, that's something also we have to figure out too.
What to call the resistance?
Well,
I'm joking now. No, I don't
No,
know
that
what
is
we
a
need to
great-
figure out other than a lot. What's your intentions?
how we move the Thri-Kreen. These allies we gain that don't have the capability of flying through space. How we move them to the battlefield.
How many are there?
A few hundred warriors is all that remained, and a few hundred, and not at full capacity. I mean, they were roughed up. I mean, a handful, dozen, probably about 50 to 75 are still in good shape. If I were to maybe be on the safe side, or on the, not the safe side, but if I was going to be hopeful, it could be less than that at this moment. Now, give them a week, then those numbers might, increase. But they were rather beat up quite a bit. Those Braxats did a number, and they took out a large number of their forces. Now, I know we could send for something like the Ark, and I don't think the king would have a problem with that, or Tantham. But it's just the logistics of getting them. How do you pull them from their people so that way they're, not gone too long, and we're not abusing their kinship to us. But then we don't want them to arrive a day late, and then all of a sudden we lose a war because we could have used the extra swords,
I kind of see it in a couple of ways. One, we obviously have moved an entire civilization, and from the sounds of it, this one is even smaller than the one we've already moved, right?
Drastically, yeah.
Always a possibility. But then again, we're uprooting a civilization that clearly just fought for their right to exist in this very place.
Well, they don't want to leave.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, they want their planet.
So that almost leads me to... two schools of thought here, I suppose. If we're really forming a resistance, we would need a central base of operations.
True.
Worst part is this planet is more hostile than an eyemonger. So it'd be very hard to put the resistance here unless we had some kind of magical, almost like a dome to encase the people that cannot breathe that air. I suppose we could almost do two bases of operation, one in Vishotar, one on Akara. Split our resources, some of the fleet here, some of the fleet there, maybe an arc on on this location, and then we could have, communication, sending stones between them. We'll have to make, obviously, oh man. The logistics are frightening, but two camps, two headquarters might not be a bad idea. And in the worst case, if one gets stamped out, or even better yet, if one gets ratted out, if they find that location, that headquarters, the other one's safe. The entire resistance is not gone in one fell swoop. We have a place to retreat to, back up, or we can consolidate everyone into one location and hopefully hide from the Ascanari, long enough to amass an army and build our resistance. Surely these few hundred are not going to change the tides. They'll help. But
that's a great point you make. Should we adventure onto the 6th and the 5th planet and see if there is the ones here, as I'm pointing in the Ori, and then this one? And what if we made a base of operations off both of the main planets?
off of the main planets.
Like off of Vistratar, where all of our kin are, our civilization is, so we wouldn't be putting them at risk if that were to come to light.
Like the moon?
Well, we've moved all of our civilization to help keep them safe. If we bring everybody to there, they're not really keeping them safe if we have a whole army of things we've, now put in a massed in one area.
No.
What if we set up a base of operations on a planet closest to us?
A neutral planet.
Yes, a neutral one.
Keep our civilization separate from the war effort.
Yes.
That's a lot better idea than I had.
And it wouldn't be very far away. Still a quick jump if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know anything about these two planets? Any research, anything you've been able to find through studies? I know I see this book over here that you've been reading that says The Cosmos for Dummies. Is there anything in that one?
Sadly, that's my own manuscript.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're writing it.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to read that.
It wasn't intended for you.
I see what you did.
You can, if you want to. I don't think it wouldn't benefit you. But I wasn't intending it for you.
Fair enough.
Well, I don't know much. I don't know anything about those two planets. What I do know is the fifth one has 8 moons orbiting around it.
That's a lot of moons.
It is. And the other one looks like it has 4 larger moons. So always an option of a number of base of operations. I don't know what we're going to run into on any of those.
Who could we talk? Oh, no.
No idea is a bad idea at this point.
Well, there's one individual that we could talk to.
Yes?
It's that blood-sucking, uptight, I'm too good for everyone else. He would know, but we'd have to be able to give him something.
We would.
Now, Antonia owes me a favor still. She might be willing to give off the information.
Possibility,
She
yes.
knows most, at least generally from what we need at the current moment. She knows equivalently, I think, most information that he does. The 5th planet interests me more, just because it's closer to Vistratar. If you had to take a guess, how long of a jump do you think it would be between the two?
That's the problem with even our current position.
Mm-hmm.
By my calculations, our 4 days here on this planet, on Akara, has lengthened our travel distance back to Vistrotar by, we're approaching about two days now. They're getting further and further apart.
2 days more?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that tells me Akara is only going to continue to get further apart.
Correct.
By my calculations from one end of the other, say they're on opposite ends of the galaxy, the crystal sphere, I suppose, it could be, well, almost a full week or more of travel. Definitely more, actually, now that I think about it. So it's only going to pose problems if we're in the outer planets. If we move into the interior planets, and the music stopped for some reason.
It's like really soft.
Oh, it is. It's just a very long, slow intro. If we move into the interior planets, it will have a shorter travel distance. Akara is always going to be a hard place to get to in a rush. It's only going to get harder. So if we're going to do something, we probably ought to manage some resources now, while we're here, before we depart.
Meaning what?
Either if we're going to do some kind of transport, either we cram the Starhammer, or we contact Vishotar and the gem hoarders, the king, whoever needs, and have them send resources here to transport, gather, reinforce, whatever we need to do.
Send for Paizo real quick to come to the helm, please.
His eyes kind of roll back.
Immediately.
Paizo, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the helm. Perfect. And just a few moments later, you hear the soft knock.
Come in, Paizo. Can you shoot a sending, please, to Aldrich and ask him if he would be willing to relinquish a good number of soldiers to go to a camp. Not a camp. How do we say this, Age? To a centralized resistance location where we will train them to operate a ship, and we will in turn also gift them a few ships to bring back. So we will need magic users that are capable of doing it, which I think he did tell us that they've done it before, but we will make sure that they're very well trained, and just see if you can sum it up to your best ability. But, you know, if he needs us to come talk to him, we can. Excuse me.
I did not want to sound rude, but we were going back down there today, correct?
Are we?
I thought that's what we had talked with him.
Sorry, I slept really hard last night.
I totally understand. You had taken a few good knocks.
Mm-hmm.
If I am correct, I think when we parted ways with Odric, we had mentioned returning.
That sounds right. That does sound right. Okay. Sorry. Well, I kind of just caught you up on what Zage and I were speaking about. Okay, what do we know of the second planet again, Recastile? I apologize, you just told me.
Yes, Recastile.
Recastile. What do we know of that, Zage?
I mean, truth be told, I hardly know much.
Why do we know the name of that one?
You had gathered that information from talking with the blood-sucking wicked man. You told me that's where he was from.
Okay.
And Paizo chimed in and he said, yes, that is where he said he was from. A long time ago, he said something along the lines of he's basically been gallivanting around.
Which planet did he say was the one that blew up? Did he tell us?
There was two planets.
Right. Which two collided?
I do not know if he said the names.
Okay, I didn't know if he had given us. Zage, have you been able to at least track to see which planets are not in orbit?
Well, what do you mean? I mean the spaces?
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's where the Terran fields are, there is missing planets by all means.
So which ones would be not in orbit then?
Well, technically, the fifth planet that you speak of as the fifth planet would be the seventh planet.
So it would have been the fifth and the sixth.
correct, yes.
So there were 14 planets at one point. Now there's only 12.
Yes,
Understood.
this is correct.
Understood, okay. I was making sure that my list that I keep here in my trusty handy notebook was up to date. You know, Cosmos for Dummies. Junior.
Oh, you have your own. Good.
My own manifesto. Okay, very good. Well, I guess let's halt our discussion on this. Let me speak with Aldrich, and that might kind of help guide our decision. If you have anything, any literature to research or anything to figure out maybe what the third planet is, maybe going interior is better.
Would it be too bad of an idea? I don't have any kind of that literature. Actually, I know someone who would.
Oh, I do too.
And he reaches into his tunic, whatever you want to say he's wearing, and he pulls out an amulet of
Z will
Zishan.
definitely have the answers.
Yeah, of course he would. Yeah, I'll contact him. That is so much better than talking to the vampire. Oh my goodness. My mind immediately went to trying to get a favor from Tantham to go barter with him for some information. I hated that with my fiber, with every fiber. And I eat a lot of fiber because I'm old.
Why?
It helps. You'll get there one day.
Interesting.
But a better way is asking Zishan.
Yeah. Yeah. He'd be much more willing to give us real information and not beat around the bush and just tease us.
Do you think he answers prayers?
If I'm honest, I don't know that he's quite there yet. But I don't know. I mean, they were very large worshippers of Zishan here. And I think that every day he's probably grown stronger than he ever thought he would be again. So it could be very possible. So
I might give it a try before. Yeah. I mean, I suppose I have to check in with Vishruta regardless, but that might not be a bad option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, we have several.
Yeah, we got tasks.
That was a bit of an overwhelming. Oh, how am I gonna? Oh goodness, starting a resistance. I'm gonna have to make a new dummies book. Starting a resistance for dummies? I don't think that title is taken.
Okay, well.
Starting a resistance, 101.
Paizo,
Okay.
Why don't you and I go ahead and head on our merry way down there?
No time like the present.
Yeah, go meet with them and at least put a book into this. At the very minimum.
Let's get to it, dude.
Okay. We'll go get in the Chester and zip on down.
You see, in the brief time that the Chester has been on deck, Arifa and the automatons have been helping to patch it. It is in very rough shape, if I do recall. And so it's...
No, the Chester actually wasn't terrible.
Oh, okay.
120 and 85, so I mean...
Okay.
Not terrible. Not even a 65%, so...
Knock off...
Just 2 times.
Yeah.
85, 25, 35, 70 gold.
Okay, cool. You have that written down. Sweet.
It was 2 gold.
Yep, 2 gold per hit point. Okay. The Chester is repaired. Arifa kind of sees you off and she says,
I swear you're going to keep me busy just constantly fixing that thing all the time. Well, good thing you got the best in the business. Don't do it again.
and she kind of like elbows you in the shin as she saunters off.
Don't forget, when we get the chance, I want a heavy crossbow in here.
It's in the works. I'm actually working with Zage today to get the specs of the heavy crossbow. He's going to be doing a little bit of special work for it.
Oh, lovely. Okay, thank you. Your work is very appreciated.
Thank you, Captain. I feel seen.
See ya.
Do you take any of the automatons with you?
No.
Ada does walk over to you and open up one of like the body cavities that they have and pulls out a healing potion that you would recognize as crafted by Zage, and it hands you a regular, or is greater the second one?
Yeah, standard, greater.
Yeah, superior.
Yeah, superior.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, you get a greater healing potion.
Ooh. I still have a regular I think I haven't used.
Oh. With all that being said, you board into the Chester. You have been given, or Pizor has been also given another potion of air bubble, which he will drink whenever you guys arrive. You take the short trip down to the surface. You fly, I don't know, where is your flight path, I suppose? What's that look like for you?
I think we'd probably go over.
The battlefield?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why not.
Absolutely. As you fly over the battlefield, you see a few small figures picking through it, and you kind of look around and you see there's probably about several dozen Thri-Kreen that are hopping around, picking through the rubble. You see a good concentration of them on the actual broken down and kind of scavenged ship that is central to what you've called the Crucible, and I really like that name, the Braxats Crucible. The battlefield is an absolute sundered mess. In the dumbest description, it's pretty much just a gigantic 3-mile radius of difficult terrain.
Yeah, makes sense.
The Thri-Kreen they've pulled out several more bodies, and you see there are stacks beginning on the outside. In the previous night, whenever they had performed their ritual where they had sang and all of the bodies had kind of like fallen into the sand and disappeared, they're starting to accumulate another stack, essentially. You know, just from the sheer number that you've seen, it was easily 1,000 or more fighters, and now you're looking at several hundred. But if there's no stops at the battlefield itself,
How does the air quality feel?
it is significantly less hazy.
So there's a change.
There is, yes. The harsh accumulation and the gigantic swirling torrent that covered over the Braxats Crucible has dissipated. Those clouds have kind of dispersed, so it's kind of like a large ring has started to... I kind of think of it like as when the dinosaurs, when ash covered the earth or whatever. It started in one location, it's spread throughout. That cloud is spreading out, but at the same time it's also dissipating. But you can see the visual ring of it dissipating out over the entire place, and it's leaving a lot of clarity back. There's still like a heavy smog in the air, like a bad Seattle day, but it is clearing up for the most part. Sun rays are actually reaching ground level.
Okay. Yeah, I think we just fly over.
Okay, perfect. Several other Thri-Kreen look at you, and they do a salute that is not a salute to you, but what you would recognize just from what you've seen of them. A recognition of who you are and respect as you fly over. You journey to where you had once buried, I can't remember what we kept calling him.
Moto?
Yes, thank you. Man, if I could give you inspiration again, I would. Where you once, the body of Moto fell into the sand. You journey out towards that way, and you see Aldrich surfacing. As you guide down, land next to Aldrich, you pop the hatch of the Chester, and he stands before you.
Good morning.
He raises a hand to you, and in your head you hear his familiar voice. Good morning to you.
How do you feel?
Beaten. Sorrowful. But proud. And you?
Same.
I think that's all we can ask for right now,
Yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would agree. How do your elders feel about it?
There's been a good change of the elders. I don't know if I know. It's not that I don't know. Sorry, I mixed my words. I know I didn't describe to you anything of our history, anything about our people, or the elders themselves. And I owe you a lot of explanation. Would you mind coming with me?
Sure.
No need for blindfolds anymore. The formalities are past us.
That's a nice change. Good to see you trust me now.
I don't know if I have a choice not to, but regardless, it's right this way. You walk for, it's maybe a couple 100 feet.
It was this close the whole time. I would have never have known.
I don't know if that's sarcasm or not, but regardless.
No, not at all. Very well. It's very well hidden.
This is actually our original city. And he takes you into, he walks up to what is the side of a sand dune. And he brushes away some of the sand. And you see there's a oddly complex rune written on like a tablet that's buried underneath. And he places his hand on it, and there is this kind of like purplish glow that starts at his antenna and kind of like suffuses his body, and you can almost see it pass through his entire body, through his chitinous exoskeleton. And it presses through his hand and into the tablet. And then you see a bunch of the sands, like Aladdin, shift away, revealing just a gaping hole. The air rushes out to meet you, and you're met with the familiar dank smells of a Thri-Kreen pit. And he leads you into what you kind of felt was basically an anthill. This internal passage that you are led down, as the light kind of filters in behind you, it's a lot wider than you had expected from with it fully lit now. And it has a bunch of extra branches that lead off immediately. And you know you had previously gone down some of those other smaller branches. But he leads you down the main road. And he begins talking as they're walking. Our people have a very rich history. As far back as we can remember, Akara has been our home. We were what I would call, I guess, the dominant species of this. And he places his hand on the wall, and that same magic leaves his hand and goes into the wall itself, and that kind of slick glass-like wall texture that you'd seen, it now radiates with this beautiful etch that just glows now, like the runes did. And it traces right immediately at his fingers, and then it runs down the length of the wall. And there's this like, beautiful bioluminescent glow that just trails down the cavern and gives you a display, a written history. And he starts right pretty close to the entrance, where the tunnel stopped diverging off of and becomes just one main large tunnel. This is all of my people's history. Our recorded history, which I suppose isn't everything. At one point, our history was a collective of our souls. That was our power. That dark pit that you fell into to speak with the elders. This here tells us wasn't a dark pit once. At one point, we had 15 elders. They all had devoted their lives so heavily to each god that they had become more than just priests. They were conduits for these entities. These entities acted through them, created champions, sent divine quests, We were one with the gods. And then the planet exploded. 2 planets collided. We were so close with the gods. We were the first species to have a grace to become spacefaring species within the Holland crystal sphere. Ages and ages ago, before the explosion in the sky, before the destruction of those 2 planets. And whatever has triggered the rest of this downfall of our people. That day, this day, as he gestures to the wall, our elders went dormant, I don't know. The pool of one is what they called it. Their collective conscious, as conduits for the gods, was poured into one central pool. And as our champions would divinely assigned quests, and as the gods were threatened, that energy reacted in kind. It flowed between the gods and the pool. It was their life force. And in that day, it went away. As did some of the gods immediately. He clicks and clacks, and you would recognize them as formal names. There is absolutely no direct translation between what they called the gods to what you know the gods as. But he dumbs it down, and I'm going to have to reference notes because there's obviously 16 of them. Did I say 15 earlier? I meant to say 16. Sorry, no, it is 15. It is absolutely 15.
Oh, gosh.
Look at me here right now in the eyes, both of you. All 2 of you. It's 15. He goes on to say that creation had 3 offspring. Death had 3 offspring. Life had 3. One was kind of... They know of a 3rd offspring of life itself, but it's not a god they ever worshipped or acknowledged. And then freedom also had 3 offspring. They knew of evil forces that acted against these entities, these divine celestial entities. They did not worship them here. These were a people of the gods. They had 15 strongholds spread out throughout Akara. Of course, there are hundreds of other smaller cities, all subterranean. Each of the big, large 15 were dedicated to a god. That was basically one large temple. The people were devout followers. Of course, there was interaction between each city, but the cities flourished. And after that day, the cities maintained until the priests started to wink out. The priests for freedom, storms, trickery, and nature. When the pool of one disappeared, they did as well. But not in the sense of disappearing. They lost their tether and fell away from the other elders. There were several that actually did completely disappear. The priest for creation clung to life, barely holding on, but somehow tethered. The priest for knowledge recessed into a husk of itself as if it was molting, like an insect molt, and it never emerged until very recently. That is a history that both you and Aldrich know and share as your first time meeting at the Temple of Zishan. When Zishan was freed, that was the day that the husk finally molted, and the priest of Zishan was once more a conduit at God. Very limited still in what has been interacted with them, but that priest has become active once more. The priest for order and peace, those disappeared at the same time the pool of one disappeared. The priest for light, dark, and war, the offspring for death, all 3 of them were gone. They completely died at a separate timeline of when the pool of one winked out. The entity, the priest for death, actually left before the events. It, they don't say it died. The priest didn't die, but it just simply ceased existing. And then slowly after, the children, the offspring of the god of death, the priest of death, they also disappeared, leaving very few priests left, but all dormant, except for one, the priest of Femus. And throughout the ages of this dormancy period, since the planets collided in the sky, that priest only ever spoke one quest: to free his son. And at this point, Aldrich looks to you and he says, I didn't know it at the time when we met at the Temple of Zishan, as you call him, the knowledge, god of knowledge. I thought I was supposed to complete that quest. It's not a quest for me. It's a quest for you. I'm sorry I reacted the way I did in that moment. But I came from a state of desperation. Zishan was our lifeline. And when he went with you instead of us, I felt the gods abandon us. This is all we had. This place that you stand in right now is our last city. It was not only our war front, but it was our final stand. So losing Zishan that day, I lost everything. I could barely return to my people. I was shamed. But then you completed the quest. I owe a great debt to you. My people owe a great debt to you. What can we do for you?
It's the same as that day when we were at the temple. I told you we were on to something bigger. We need allies. We need allies that are willing to fight for something larger than themselves and something larger than anybody should ever be asked to. We need individuals ready to help us gain back the power of our sphere for us.
When you say us,
Everyone.
the people of the sphere.
Yes.
And we are...
Outside of the Ascanorian elves.
It's so bizarre to... It's bizarre and frustrating for our people to know so very little of the world beyond us. After at one point, this entire sphere was our world. It was our oysters. And now we know nothing. When we commandeered that ship, the Ascanari as you call them, we didn't know who we stole it from. Visitors that kept bringing crates to those Braxats. So we took one of their ships, we launched an ambush. When we got our hands on that ship, we have drawings of, you called them Spelljammers. None of us had ever flown one. It was a foreign concept and we barely managed. But it almost felt right to be out there, to be exploring everything beyond our planet. Our people are more than this planet. But the worst part is that right now we're reduced to damn near nothing.
I'd be willing to help you change that.
How?
I believe we were going to set a resistance upon a neutral planet. A home base, if you will. One that allows us to be away from our civilizations, to not put the innocents in danger, but it allows us to have a central point to go to and come from, for resources, supplies, restocking with allies and what have you, a place where, as we continue to grow our forces, a place to meet. Now, it's undecided, but a decision will be made very shortly. And it'll either be on the 3rd planet from the sun or the 5th planet from the sun.
3rd planet, that is not Vistrotar, is that correct?
Yeah, the Vistrotar is the 4th.
Okay, correct. Yep, yes, okay. Sorry, I'm looking at it now. You're correct. Thank you.
If you were to send men to this home base, we could train them to utilize their powers correctly, get comfortable with spell jamming and operating a ship from the helm. And I believe I can safely say that we could probably gift you a few ships to help get you on your feet. And then furthermore, teach you how to build them.
I can hardly speak for my people. I suppose I will let you know I am somewhat of a champion of Femus. At least I thought I was. I thought I was given that quest. So I thought I was the acting champion of Femus. Clearly not the case. But we are brethren. In his eyes, in all of their eyes, your fight is our fight. You are my people, as we are yours. Whatever it needs, whatever it takes. This is our fight.
It is our fight. It's bigger than both of us. For if we don't win this battle, then I'm afraid our sphere is over.
I hate to tell you how, I guess, in the dark our people are. We haven't left this planet except for that one excursion that ended in borderline ending our entire civilization. And even then we know not what we were doing out there, our cause, our enemies. We still don't know our enemies, these Ascanari.
What makes you feel better? We are only a few months ahead of you. So...
this seems to be a lot of catching up,
yeah,
perhaps, for us. And
many individuals will put well behind in their past, and progress that they had once sought after and flourished with was wiped out.
I think that's what happens when we lose sight of the gods.
A lot of purpose was lost.
I witnessed it firsthand with my people falling apart. I don't know what role the Braxats played in this entire scheme, or whatever's going on. But I do know that ship, the Ascanaris, the ship that we stole, that one is not the first one of its kind that we have seen. It is a recurring sight in our skies. Not often, but almost predictably, once a year. Though there is a visit, where there is an exchange, they were helping those Braxats. And those Braxats were our exact downfall. When they arrived, which they were not native inhabitants of this planet.
No, they're from the Astral Sea.
The Braxats are?
Yes.
I know not of the Astral Sea, but
It is not on this
perhaps
plane. It's where the elves hide now.
that is far too much information to even process. Truthfully.
It's a different plane of existence. I assume they brought him here as a nuisance.
More than a nuisance, an instrument of destruction.
Yeah, as an easy oppressor to help them gain control of the sphere without them having to do anything.
It worked. It worked.
It worked for a while.
It did.
Not anymore. Well, that means we have still close to a year then, before they were to come stop here again. So,
Yes, true. Yeah, actually, it's...
I imagine this is going to come to a front before a year.
I think so.
It's, by our records, 8 more ships just left. The 10th planet, which puts us up to potentially 24.
I think this is probably information that should be shared. How are you getting your information? How are you tracking their ships?
I mean this in the utmost respect, Aldrich. But we have our ways.
I'm not happy about that answer by any means.
In due time, I'll show you. But I don't think that now's the time. Now, since your planet has been, we're just now regaining the control of your planet.
We held information from you, bringing you in. It is only right. I do not like it, but I understand it. And I trust that we are brothers in this fight.
In due time. With that being said, how many soldiers do you think you'd be willing to part with in the current moment? If we were to begin setting up our home base of resistance, El Resistance.
Wow. That is a hard question to state. I don't want to make our home void of protection, void of resources.
Absolutely not.
I don't think we can relocate the elders, so we need people here. Will we have ships here as well? Is that a possibility?
In the future, yes. How quickly are you thinking?
I would almost hope as soon as possible. If we are to have a contingent of our people leave this planet to another one...
Yes, I mean, I think that we could have ships here.
My priority is for my people to continue. And my people are the elders.
I think we could have ships here within 2 weeks.
Okay. In 2 weeks we could count the heads, but I would reckon 200, 300
Okay.
immediately.
That's a very fair number. Okay. And in 2 weeks' time, I would say that the ships will be here between 10 and 14 days. And we will have a location status for where they will go to by then.
Perfect.
And then those ships will take them to that place, said place, at that time. And like I said, we will teach operations and engineering.
When you say this place at this time, is that more withholding information, or is that...
No, that is not knowing at this current moment.
I appreciate the transparency.
Finding a neutral place that is safe for both of us to send people to.
Yes.
As my jammer and I were communicating, his name is Zage, this morning. If the location of our soldiers, wherever to be be known to the enemy. We'd hate for it to have been in the same exact location as our civilization or yours and put all the innocents at risk. So finding a neutral position where we can create a field operating base, a FOB, if you will, would be very crucial and much more responsible.
I have to defer to your judgment. Your logic is sound, but...
Okay. Well, if you think this is acceptable, we will head back.
I will have to communicate with the elders, but...
Of course.
I will have your answer.
Okay. We will head back immediately, and in doing so, we will put all these motions into plan. All these plans into motion, excuse me.
Are you leaving now?
I think so.
For good? Or for a while?
For a while, at least. I don't know what our next steps will be other than potentially scouting out and finding that home for the position of our base, but it could be for a while.
Would you like to take a band of our warriors with you when you leave?
We can. We could take some that... If it would behoove you, we could take some that we could begin showing how to create these ships. Put them into...
Create the ships is your intention.
Well, it would help your civilization if you had a handful of individuals that knew how to build them, right?
So perhaps we not only send you warriors, but also our scholars.
Yeah, a select few. Nothing ridiculous, but, 4, 6.
If we could send a small band to basically begin their training process.
Yes.
In the expectations for fighting as well as jamming.
Operational, yes.
Yes. If you train our warriors, then they can help train everybody else.
Yes.
Perfect. I will round up several and we will have them ready to go. If you have an hour, I can give you both the answer from the elders and...
No, absolutely. That's perfectly fine.
Of course. Feel free to explore. I can come find you. Or whatever you need. I will attend.
Okay. Yeah, we'll walk about.
Okay. And that's perfect time to take a little late break.
Late break?
My cup is empty. My cup runneth empty.
Runneth empty.
And so I am thirsty, and I would like to take a break. So we are going to take a break here. Break. Episode 45. Thank you for joining us thus far. Check out the mid-roll. You'll probably... Giveaway announcements not in there? Or
not yet. We'll have a little bit of information for the giveaway announcements, but other than that...
That's up and coming.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
All the official stuff will...
But during that break, you will see custom character art generated by the one and only Roll for Sketching. And you'll probably hear some super awesome music generated by Jason Wardell of In the Vast Forest on his synthesizer, his ones and twos, or ones and zeros. There are no twos in binary. But
hey, we'll see you guys on the other side.
I ramble goodbye.
See ya.
And welcome back to episode 45. We had a late break right there, and we're jumping right back into it. Karson Hallowbrand of the Starhammer had just got done talking to Aldrich. he revealed to you a lot. There was a big info dump there.
Yeah.
And one of the big things that you came away with is that he is, or thought to be, an acting champion of Femus. And a very strong leader for his people. They had agreed to joining the resistance because at this point your fight is their fight. He left you alone in the, I was going to say catacombs, but that's definitely not right. In the, I guess, bowels of the ant colony that is this Thri-Kreen city. There's not a lot of foot traffic around you. Actually, none at all, truth be told. No foot traffic, and he disappears down that main tunnel and kind of walks away, leaving you and Pizor standing to do whatever you want for the next hour. If we want to fast forward through this, we sure can. It's whichever.
Yeah, I think I would just kind of relax, take it in, and not outwardly travel too far because I don't want to get lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think wouldn't do anything too crazy.
There's one thing. As Pizor is standing there with you, he kind of goes through and looks at all like the hieroglyphic. Thank you. Hieroglyphic depictions of the written history of the Thri-Kreen, and he's kind of like just scanning along it, and he makes a comment to you. He says, "I do not know if you felt anything last night when the Thri-Kreen was singing, but it felt like my god, Tiara. She called to me in that moment. It felt as if they were singing her song."
I don't think I quite felt anything like that. No, not me.
And it might just be my connection to her, but that magic that they channeled at that moment, it was the magic of life. That was the song and my people are the dance.
That's awesome.
It was a beautiful moment. I think this is a big move. This is the right move for us.
I agree. I guess if there's anything to help confirm that, it would be that fact right there.
I have never... It's bold of me to say, but I think these are the answer to our problem with Tiara. The moon, the whole trap situation, and the changing happening on Vishota. I wonder if they hold the answers.
If who holds it?
The Thri-Kreen.
You think they can help us free Tiara?
I felt complete. I have always felt as if my magic, my powers have missed something. And in that moment, it was whole. Tiara was whole. That is the magic we need.
Are you saying that there needs to be potentially like a ritual or
I think so.
a calling to free them?
Yes. Like a team up between my people and the Thri-Kreen.
Yeah, like a
Exactly.
you and Aldrich. All of a sudden Pizor has him.
I am terrified by some of the things you say. And that is probably one of them.
Yeah, you did say exactly though, but...
No, I knew what you meant until you got to giving me antennas and then you lost me, but...
Sure. Okay. That's interesting. Yes.
I don't know if they have... He said he's a follower of Femus.
He is, yes.
Perhaps they have followers of Tiara who can
Perhaps.
help, who can journey back alongside the others.
We will ask when he returns.
Okay.
I like it. Good idea.
Ending that moment, when Aldrich does return, he gives you the information that the elders have a resounding yes. Essentially, it's what else option do we have? Wait around and see what happens, or take an active role, essentially. And so they are more than willing to join. And immediately he has 10, a split of 6 warriors and 4 scholars that will be journeying with you guys.
Aldrich, at the same time, do you have someone like yourself in the champion role of Tiara within?
Yes, we actually do. She would be the brood mother. She is essentially our caregiver. All of our young, all of the clutches of our eggs are raised by her. She would be the one, I suppose. Yes.
Didn't you tell me about her before?
Perhaps.
She locked herself away? Or not come out of...
Oh, yes. Yes. But that was one of the things that has changed since the downfall of the Braxats. Two voices mixing there. That is one of the things that has changed since the downfall of the Braxats. She emerged.
Really?
With a new clutch.
Congratulations, that's great.
We will be raising a new generation for the first time in a long time.
Congratulations. I'm not quite sure how that works. I mean, no offense.
Congratulations are undue.
Okay. That sounds very promising.
It is.
It sounds like a celebration.
But this brood mother, what do you ask for? I'm sorry.
Well, so we think that Tiara, the goddess of nature, is still locked away, potentially with
Pies are correct. She says of life.
Life. I'm sorry. Her child is of nature, I think. But maybe I'm new to this. But we think they're locked away. During your ceremony of life yesterday, for the fallen soldiers, Paizo felt Tiara very strongly. So we wondered if potentially we were able to, I don't know, bring some the person back with us, have a ritual. I'm just really spitballing here, Aldrich, but
a ritual to do what exactly?
To help free them, to figure out how to free them, to release them back.
Are they trapped like Zishan was?
Yes. Everyone has been. You name them, they're trapped. Femus and Zishan are the only free.
The elders for those gods, life, change, nature. They are, they have been babbling messes since that day. Every word that they utter is an utterance of a language we do not speak, we do not understand, and is a constant stream of babble for centuries. We couldn't figure out why them, of all, do that. None of the other priests were doing that. But if they are trapped of some sort, that would make a lot of sense. I suppose the only thing to do would be freeing. I'm very confused by the whole ritual and freeing of the gods.
Oh, I have no idea. Paizo, this is beyond me, if I'm going to be frank with you.
Paizo chimes in, and he gives him the gist. Basically, like saying his people worship Tiara through a very slow, ritualistic dance that brings people life. It is a healing energy. And what he felt there was very similar, but almost in a polar opposite of the passing on of life and the handover, essentially. And more importantly, he dictates the difference between the dance and the song that he heard. And Aldrich kind of recognizes. And he says that he's asking a lot with a new brood being just hatched. But you say the gods are at stake. He's just asking you.
I'm afraid they're always at stake at this moment.
But you think whatever you can do back on your planet, that is where you can free them?
We think they're on one of the moons, actually.
Then it has to be done.
Would we be putting your younglings into a very dangerous position?
We can make do. She has brought them into this world,
Okay.
which is a main role. The nursery duties we can allocate.
And it can be as quick as possible. I mean, it will be. And we can send her back with the ships, and then we can even probably maybe rush that 10-day time frame, but it'd just be the travel back and forth really at this point.
We'll make it so.
So I guess, it'll be 12 to 14 days then.
That's a
She'd be
good
gone.
estimate. Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta.
With that, the conversation wraps up unless there's anything else you'd like to talk about.
All right, Allie. It's been great knowing
Predator
you.
bro handshake with an extra Thri-Kreen hand in there.
Why you gotta use all 4 hands, Al?
It's like that person that gives you the two-handed shake,
Yeah.
and you're just like, why? Like, let go of
Both
me.
my hands and my elbow.
Exactly.
What's going on, Al?
But after the
Can you name all 10 of these people, and so I'm comfortable with them, please?
absolutely, and he goes through a series of clicks and clacks, which will be translated to you another time.
Yeah.
Actually, I do.
I'm just kidding.
No, hold on. Actually,
you can take your time if you
No.
want. If it even comes
It's
to
in
it,
here.
don't use them unless you need them.
No, it's
No.
it's in here. I just have to find where I put it.
You named all 10 of them?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 names prepared.
So save them.
I had 10, but we've used 2,
Yeah.
so I have 8.
Save them in case you need those for a rainy day.
And technically, I need 11 because the brood mother as well. But I digress.
Digressing. Okay, so now
The
Broodmother's also going to join us.
yes,
Okay.
in a very awkward shuttle situation, you transport the 10 warriors.
Would the Starhammer be able to come down now?
The air is still considered
Okay.
toxic, so
Okay.
it would foul the air supply. So you'd have to breathe in foul air, which basically ends in death in a couple of days, or find a new source of air. So, not recommended.
Yeah, facts.
But through a odd transport, you guys are basically able to shuttle people back and forth, 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 until finally you take your last trip. And at this point, you and Paizo are kind of taking turns piloting the Chester back and forth.
I probably have asked. So we'd have 11. It'd only be 3 trips. So it would be terrible.
Well, there's only one person that can fit in the Chester inside, otherwise. I suppose you could probably stick them out on the wings.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
You're right.
I can't imagine any one of them would be keen. Like, just from an outside perspective, like, I can do a DM ruling and
I
just
really
say, no,
need-
they don't do that.
I
But
really
also,
need
like,
a sidecar.
yeah, like, how do you convince somebody, like, hey, hop on this thing, we're going to go to a place, like, beyond the clouds
Yeah.
where you're not going to be able to breathe for a few minutes. Just hold your breath, buddy, and then you'll be able to breathe again. Like, that's a hard sell on people you just met, so.
So we have six warriors.
6 warriors,
4
what we they
scholars.
consider scholars, in a way, and then 1 broodmother, who shall be named.
Yeah, it's fine.
Note for Logan. 11 Thri-Kreen names. I was so proud of myself because I actually had some prepared. I thought I had more.
That's perfectly fine. It's not relevant right now.
Not relevant, but needed. So yes, everybody joins back up on the Starhammer. It can definitely hold more people, but it feels crowded. Your ship is very spacious. It's kind of like having all your company over for a holiday, and you're like, gosh, this house can't get big enough. And that's kind of how the Starhammer feels for the next while. Is there anything you want to do while you get back into the Starhammer, or next directives? We can kind of...
No, I think we get everybody situated, and then I make sure the Broodmother probably has her own place, and the other guys we probably really don't have a space for them other than the new den.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of the better places.
Yeah, and they definitely don't feel comfortable like sleeping out on the deck. They want to go like in a down, essentially, is the weirdest way to put it. So the den is like almost like a natural home for them. And then wherever you would situate the Broodmother, there are a couple extra rooms.
Yeah, I think we had a couple.
On top of Carlisle's room, but it's
on top of Carlisle's room.
I don't think Carlisle's room is occupied for any reason.
No, it'd be below Carlisle's.
No, I'm saying Carlisle's room is available. Like, it's on top of the extra rooms you do have. I think there's a couple extra.
Understood.
You do have that one as well. That is just a cartography room and kind of like a sanctuary for you.
I grab my hammer and I break down the wall.
Nice.
It's like
a little...
it is the commander's wing.
A little home makeover.
I was actually thinking about that the entire time you're asking me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, honestly, like, no one else would ever be in that room again. And I have used it at times.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of like an ode to,
Absolutely. I do think you mentioned multiple times that you go in there to work on cartography.
Yeah, correct.
So, with that being said, everybody situated on the Starhammer, Zage's voice calls out, and he says, welcome aboard to the Starhammer. I am your jammer, Zage. It's a pleasure to see all of you here upon the ship. There's a lot of you. We have a long journey ahead of us. By my calculations, just getting there on the end of the 6th day. So, buckle in. We're ready for a fast and uneventful ride, hopefully. So we will now fast travel through essentially the next 6 days. A? Oh, you... I was like, what do you mean A? You're pressing A to skip. Yeah. Excellent. Nothing of note happens.
Okay.
If there is any... Yeah, it is a very nice, quiet lull. There are a lot of advances that happen on other fronts while you're journeying 6 days. Long time. Is there anything you want to do with the Thri-Kreen while they're on the ship?
Maybe just talk to them.
Okay.
Kind of like prep them on what's going to happen. Just give them like information, like, hey, there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, Tantum, Jim Horner, like, he's a great individual. He will gladly take you guys in, teach you how to do this. Like, this is what's kind of be expected. I would not ask Zage to train them at all during this time.
Yep.
That way that they can all learn at the same time. Maybe Zage in off times, if Paizo or somebody else were to go launch, maybe Zage can give like small lessons, but not like one-on-one teachings while we're trying to fly here in space. Not at this moment.
And truth be told, the Thri-Kreen they don't fear you, but it's almost like this weird, like you can tell they hold you as the authority, and they're not questioning the authority. Like, they don't ask you about absolutely anything. They figure the information will come to them when it's ready. So they're silent passengers. They're very antsy, and that's not a pun on the fact they're insects. It's a true fact on the fact that they are cooped up, and they are a very, as you know, a very warrior-based people at the current time of their lifespan. And so, constantly being on a war front for who knows how long.
Right.
And all of a sudden now being on a cramped-ish space, in space, the vast nothingness for several days, leaving your entire colony behind.
Yeah.
They're very standoffish, I guess is the easiest way to put it. So unless there's any specific interactions or anything that you want, they don't do much, but these 6 warriors do often drill. Essentially, they'll get out on the cannon deck itself where there's a lot of area, and they'll drill themselves and run kind of like combat maneuvers. If it matters, you have inspiration. But I don't...
No,
Okay.
I gave a chance for Brish.
Oh.
I asked them to train Brish. In
And?
those 6 days, and and I do ask that question.
Okay. Yeah.
I debated it, and I do ask that question. So I asked them, say, hey, I
like
have an
that.
individual
Yeah.
that
Okay.
is wanting to learn, willing to learn, but is very green.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Awesome.
needs
I
very good
love that.
instructions, and you guys are warriors through and through, and are very proud people. And I think you guys would be able to teach him better than I could ever imagine myself teaching him. Would you do it?
It is a resounding yes. Brish is
Then I go
incredibly
Brish.
awkward about it
Yeah.
because kind of the weird thing is whenever you talk to them, there's only ever one that does respond. And you don't even know which one it is because it's a collective 6 faces staring back at you, unblinking.
Who's talking?
Exactly, and it's just in your head. So when you talk, you're talking to a crowd, and there's one voice talking back to you. Brish is weirded out by the whole experience, but eager to learn, and throughout that 6-day journey, you see him make massive amounts of progress.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive amounts of progress, but he complains a lot. Like,
Good.
dude's a whiner.
Yeah.
No offense to Brish, but he is an absolute whiner during the entire process.
That's awesome.
And I feel like you probably take every moment to remind him of his sore muscles.
Yeah, and a lot of times, I'm literally like on the fantail deck, like leaning over, just like watching him as they're sparring or whatever.
Yeah.
And he looks over at me after he just got whacked in the back of the head, and I'm just like smiling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
then
You
I
do
smile
notice your
even
portions.
larger.
Yeah, your portions are reduced for a little while.
It's all right.
Nothing's said.
I
You
sneak
just-
midnight runs
Yeah.
into the pantry, but I smile even larger when Brish makes a hit. Whether he sees it or not. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that
And
a
I
lot.
even asked like Arifa, like even if she wants to learn a little something, or anybody that would, that they'd be willing to train. You know what I mean?
Arifa responds,
Yeah, I can get myself out of a pinch. But I'm more of a runner, not a fighter. Don't ever ask me. I think it was in my contract.
No. Yeah, I would never put that in there.
Well, don't anticipate it.
It's fine.
Obviously, combat, I'm probably going to be in a barrel.
But it doesn't hurt to be able to defend yourself.
Oh, I know a thing or two. Stab you in the toe.
Okay. Your call.
her fingers sparkle a little bit.
She's like, I'm prepared, but not well.
You know magic.
Slim.
Interesting.
I mean, I have to get the jamming helms to at least test pilot.
True.
I'm not a good pilot, but I've been able to pick up a few things. The mending cantrip, for one.
So let me
quite
ask you this
handy.
question. If you had the right material, could you build something akin to the Chester?
Well, yeah,
Maybe a little bit bigger?
easily. I mean, that's more than easy. That was my job.
Something that could hold individuals, maybe at least up to 6 to 10. Some would call it like a bus or a large passenger van.
Okay, so like the Chester minivan kind of way.
Uh-huh.
You're taking the kids to soccer practice today.
Yeah, can the door open from the side, though? That's what I really want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, but we had two very important instances in that battle where we had to transport people, and we were not equipped for it. And, well, we transported several trips for the battle itself and then getting people to our ship. is the other one. As you saw, we had to take 11 trips just to get everybody up here.
It was honestly comical to laugh to watch.
Yeah, but if we had something a little bit more tactile and useful in those situations, and I don't know, maybe I'm really speaking out of here, but even if we had a way to launch it from inside the ship, so like we had a door that opens up at the front or something and it pulls out from there, so it's out of the way, or if there's plenty of room on the deck to put it, whatever have you. I guess our ship.
Horrible ideas. They're all good, but my wheels are spinning. I've got to go, Captain. I've got a lot to do.
Well, we can ask for a helm from Tantum. Do I still have that one?
You gave away the Ascanari helm.
I thought I took one. Maybe I gave that to Tantum. I did. We carried it to Tantum.
Yes, I do remember that now.
Yeah. All right, well, good. Then that means you're working out your brain. See?
Always. And my little fingies.
So, yeah, I mean, something 15 to 20 foot long. If
Looking
you could,
for about 6 people.
6 to 10 passengers. So if it could, maybe if it's 8 passengers, 2 pilots.
2 pilots, okay.
So 8 passengers, so 10 total. I think that would be a great number.
Okay, 10 passengers, 2 bean pilots.
Would you be able to put 2 seats that you'd be able to pilot the ship from in the front?
Piloting at the same time?
No, but you could pilot it from either seat.
Oh man, that's honestly a more question probably for Tantum. I don't understand the true magic of the helms. Maybe you could split the 2 helms, or even link the... Now that's something actually interesting. If you link them, perhaps both Oh no. There's going to be a lot of experimentation happening.
Yeah.
But I've got a couple of ideas.
All in the name of science.
We're going to need more. We do have a couple of extra ballistas, don't we?
Ballistas, we do.
I think a passenger...
I like what you're doing. Draw something up.
Yep, alright.
Give a couple of renditions and we can talk. I'll give you a couple of days before we reach back and we'll come up with a game plan to talk about Tantum with it.
Perfect. Perfect. I've got 6 days?
Yeah, we should arrive there.
That's plenty.
Okay.
Do we have any scrap metal on board?
We've got a little bit, yeah.
I'm going to need a working model. Oh, I'm going to need a model to craft. So.
Yeah, you should have some.
Perfect. Thanks, Captain. I was getting bored. Not really, but...
Not anymore, you're not.
At all as if I didn't already have enough to do, and she kind of like kicks the Chester in like a loving way, kind of. Alright, well, before you give me too much more homework, I better get out of here.
Absolutely.
You part ways with Arifa.
We could stick like a great sword on the front.
I'm not listening!
Alright.
A space marlin?
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Just drive it straight into somebody.
Instead of bludgeoning damage, just piercing.
Just an 8-foot blade on the front of it, 10-foot blade. It's like the same length as the whole ship itself.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Call it the swordfish. Dang.
Because realistically, it just needs to be like 15 by 10, 15 by 8, and you'd be able to hold.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Just standing room only, when it was maxed out for 8 people. I mean, a 10 by 10. Yeah, a 10 by 10 area would easily hold 8 people standing. Definitely it's like a Black Hawk, it has...
Yeah, that's exactly
has the handles in it.
Truth be told, my mind goes straight to the troop transports from the Attack of the Clones when all the clones come in. That is. I'm a horrible Star Wars fan for not knowing that ship name, but the 2 little ball guns on the side, dual pilots, cargo bays that open on either side. holds troops or people, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like the chester's
that-
great,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
if we can build on, now we build on the idea of what the chester was.
Yeah.
You know.
My mind
It had different
is
scales.
spinning as well as Arifa's.
Good. 2 minds are better than one. And Logan has 100
Something like that.
just for today.
So, with the interaction with Brish, Arifa, the Thri-Kreen, I do want to interject one final interaction for this journey, because truthfully, everybody else not really up to much. Pizor spends a lot of time in kind of like quiet, contemplative meditation.
Sure.
And you do see him actually. Sorry, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. He spends a lot of time with the brood mother, and you do hear a subtle singing, like a cricket song, very often.
That's cool.
And they're cooking something up. But outside of that, Zage basically clues you in over what's happening every 6 days.
Yes.
For starters, he has been in contact with Tanthem
Okay.
about kind of the happenings on Akara.
Mm-hmm. On Akara? You sure?
No, on Akara. So Zage has told Tanthem of what has gone
Oh,
down.
understood. Okay.
And the fact that you guys are basically bound and determined at this point to finalize. That was a dumb.
No, and formalize. I mean, to
Yeah.
a certain extent.
Okay, I didn't know that word just sounded weird coming out.
No, I mean,
but
we formalized New Torvengard, and that's really, we formalized a town,
yeah,
and we formalized the resistance.
Yeah.
And this is our first real ally outside of that, so
absolutely.
makes
So
sense.
you formalize a resistance, or that's what they are. Speaking of, but Zage does let you know that his initial contact, he attempted to pray to Zishan, and after several hours got absolutely no response. But after speaking with Tanthem actually did get word from Zishan that Zishan heard the prayer, but just did not have it in him to be able to respond back.
Okay, that's great.
Which means whenever Zage relayed the message, it was already
Yeah.
there had already been the communication. So it kind of helps that communication out a lot. It's a bit of a one-way radio in a way, but you learn, for one, that the third planet, it is historically known as Tabos. Zishan tells you that it was a planet largely enwrapped in with like a desert ecosphere. Think like very heavily like Tatooine, kind of.
That's where I went.
It is a large desert planet with one small moon. The atmosphere is breathable, and it has a history of life. In the far deep annals of history that Zishan can call back upon. Of course, he has not had any contact with them in any recent years.
Any guess at what used to live there?
A human population. It was a
Human.
very large, very thriving human population.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that is all that is really known.
Did you say one moon, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Was there a question about that?
Well, didn't Zage say there was 8 moons on there?
That is on the fifth planet. It has 8 moons.
Okay, so didn't he say there were 4 moons on that one then?
Am I wrong? Hold
Yeah,
on.
you said 4 large moons earlier, unless that was just a misspeak. Tatooine only have 1 moon.
I think I was looking at.
Okay.
I was looking at the wrong planet.
No, perfectly fun.
Yes, so the third planet does only have one
moon.
smaller moon, and even the planet itself is a decently small planet.
Can I get the name? Can you spell me that? please?
Tabos, Tebos.
Tebos. Tabos.
And the fifth planet was. Did you have any other questions about
No,
Tabos?
sir.
Okay, cool. The fifth planet was Ganet, Ganet. Gannett, an odd and stark contrast, is a planet almost entirely submerged in water.
Oh, it's a water planet.
It is. It has 8 moons that have very harsh tidal shifts because of the huge fluctuation of moons, and that life here has a history of resisting the gods. Essentially, he calls it a primal planet, one that the gods not only never really attempted, but never succeed. Like there were small attempts, but there was never a success of establishing their dominion there. There was always some kind of pushback on a worship of them entirely.
Okay.
Further questions?
No.
Okay. The final thing, the final bit of information that you get from Zage, aside from communicating everything back and forth between Tanthem and you guys, you learn that the slow advance of the 14 ships through the Terran fields, there is no more ships that have winked out in those 6 days.
Okay.
They've stayed strong, and they've probably made about a fifth way around clockwise. So they're not moving slowly by any means, but they're moving with purpose and deliberation as they journey through the Terran fields. But no more disappear. And then on the front of the 8 that we're leaving from that supermoon kind of structure, they are taking a hard path basically directly across the crystal sphere. They're kind of headed towards the sun itself. Obviously not headed straight to and through, but in that direction.
Okay.
In the 6 days that they do travel, I would guess, I would have to do like a little bit of math here just to figure out exactly how far they were away. It is probably they get halfway in towards the sun.
Okay.
So they're actually nearing the Terran fields, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like they're trying to intersect the other 14.
No.
Different plan.
Yeah, essentially like the other 14 are kind of like in this path over
Okay.
here, and they had been coming in from like this long
Understood.
distance over this way.
So evidently different.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
And with that large info dump on the 6th day, which leads us into Mentir. Is that how we pronounced it earlier? Let me look at my calendar here. Yes, on the month of Mentir, we go 2 more days into Charstill, and then 4 days total. So it is the 4th of Mentir. On that beautiful and glorious day, the Starhammer journeys throughout, making their final and almost familiar light speed trek through the Terran fields, and then they stop. At the end of the 6th day, you pull from jamming speed, and the beautiful planet of Vistartar lays beneath you. As you fall into its orbit, we'll call episode 45 there.
Episode 45.
Episode 45.
Gosh. How cool. Well, everyone.
Everyone. That'd be you.
That'd be you. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. What a pleasure it's been to have you here watching us play Dungeons & Dragons. It's an honor and a privilege. And make sure you tune in next week to see episode 46, because we are getting into some meat and potatoes of this very vast story. Yeah, so you'll definitely want to tune in to see it. And if you haven't, check us out on Saturdays, where we make a series called The Long Rest, where it's a little bit more chill and relaxed. And we just talk about all sorts of Dungeons & Dragons topics. So maybe you'd like us over there. A little bit shorter videos, 10 to 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes. all sorts of things like that. So, hey, don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe button, share us around to your friends who might also be interested.
Yeah.
Any final words, Mr. Logan?
It's been a long time since you talked to your dog about Duos and Destiny, and you probably should do that again.
Just
So,
remind him. Hit him with the woof woof.
yeah.
Guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
See ya.